How to make a fleece tie blanket. You've admired fleece tie blankets and throws because they are soft, warm, and comforting. What's not to like? But maybe you feel you have the room/ability/physical capability to make one. Here are some instructions that will help you get around many obstacles that people may find limiting. Select your fleece blankets. Use 2 different fleece patterns or 2 solid fleece blankets that complement each other. Alternately, use a pattern on one side and a solid color on the other. Try different combinations. Some patterns that don't seem they would go together actually complement each other quite well. You never know what will look good until you try it out in person. Purchase anywhere from 1.5 to 3 yards, 1.3 to 2.7 meters, of each fleece. 1.5 yards makes a decent size throw. 2.53 yards, 2.3 to 2.7 meters, makes a nice twin-size blanket. Spread out the material. Spread it out so that the softer or more brightly colored sides face out, matching both up at one end and the sides as far as they lay flat. Trim if needed. Consider the area you have available to spread out your material. If you don't have room to spread out the whole material or you can't physically crawl around on the floor, you can adapt by using a kitchen table or available floor room to cut and tie your fleece. Consider how you will measure the cuts to make the ties. They don't have to be exact. When cutting against the nap, usually the narrower end, the strips need to be a little longer, about 4 or 5 inches/11 to 14 centimeters, then along the long sides, about 2.53 inches/7 to 9 centimeters, because they don't stretch as much while tying. Cut out a rectangle from both corners with a pair of scissors, see tips. Make sure you are cutting through both pieces of fleece. Use something rectangular in shape to measure. If you have trouble seeing the graduations on a ruler, a card cut to the right measurements, for instance 3x5/9 by 14 cm, is easier to use to make corner cuts even and strips uniform in length. Use the long edge of the card for the longer strips and the short edge for the shorter ones. Start cutting strips. Cut strips of approximately 1 inch, 2.5 centimeters, from each corner down the end and the sides for as long as the material lies flat. These strips don't have to be exactly uniform, but they should be approximately the same size. Small irregularities will not be noticeable in the finished product. An easy way to measure is by using your thumb. If your fingers are larger, use the width of your thumb. If your fingers are smaller, use from tip to first knuckle. Tie the corner strips together. Using a simple knot, attach the bottom layer to the top layer. Tighten the knot. If you have trouble getting the knot tight due to arthritic or weak fingers, hold the end of one tail of the knotted pair with one hand and slide the fingers of the other hand up to push the knot tighter. Tie the strips at the end between the 2 corners next in the same way. Don't worry if the fleece puckers. Flatten the fleece out. Use flat hands to stretch and smooth the material so it lies flat again. Tie the strips down each side for the length of the blanket. Flatten as needed. Fold the tied portion up. Move the fleece down so that more of the material lies flat, trimming if needed, and repeat steps number 6 through number 8 until about 2/3 of the blanket is tied. Turn the blanket around. Spread the blanket out so that the remaining end is flat. Trim end and sides as needed. Repeat from step number 5 until blanket is finished. Notice how all those little imperfections seem to magically blend into the pattern. Fold blanket, place into gift bag seat tips, and tie handles together with ribbon. Give it someone who will appreciate it, or give it to yourself and make good use of it. Finish.